Hi everyone, this is Shirley from Shirley's World. I have my Rode mic. I came today, thank goodness. I don't have my oval clip on, so I'm just going out to see what the chickens are doing. Maybe let them in their little dusting place. Gay Green Eyes. Got Green Eyes 65. Thanks for joining. I'm going to let my girls over here where it's their dirt bathing place, or their dusting place. So let me let them out, and then I'll show you them. There they go, running into their little space. And I can get a chair cushion here and sit down in this chair with them. Let's go get a cushion. Here's one. How's everybody tonight? I did a few scopes today because we went in town. I got my car fixed, and we did some walking, shopping trips. My sister's here, and I thought I'd just do a few of those. I have a really low battery here, so I hope this holds out till I'm done with this little scope. I had put some scratch down. That's what they're eating. That's corn and some other seeds that they like. That's Martha, the buff Orpington, and the other buff is Molly, and the black and white one is Dottie, and the brown one down there, if you can see her, she's an Easter egger, and her name is Eggo. So I only have 4 chickens at the moment. I'm going to get more in the spring. I'm going to get baby 1-day-old chicks. I'll order them real early so that I get a good choice of breeds. And then I'll have them come around March, April, May. Probably I'll have them come in early March, middle March. Because they have to be in the brooder in my house. I live in Northeast Ohio, so it's cold. They can't be outside without any feathers. They just have, they're born with fuzzy feathers, but not their real feathers. So they have to develop their real feathers. And so they don't come outside till they're like 12 weeks old. So they're in the house. I put my brooder in the bathroom downstairs, and that'll be fun to show you in the spring. And if anybody is thinking of getting chickens, the first thing you should be thinking of right now is building your coop. Build your coop before you get your chickens. Brian and VA. Thank you for joining, Brian. I'm talking about my chickens here and about what people should do before they think, ordering their chickens. You have to build your chicken coop first. Make sure you build it bigger than you think you're going to need. Because chickens need room. It says they only need 2 to 4 square feet per chicken, but it's nice if you have more room than that per chicken. and a nice place, a nice run outside the coop. And then if you're going to let them free range or at least be in a big yard. Building the coop is the most important thing before you get your chickens. So you have that all built before they come, and then you have your brooder all ready for your, that's my cat Pepsi. You have your brooder, which is just an enclosed little area, like a big Rubbermaid tub, or it has to have a heat lamp in it because they have to, for the first week or so, they have to be kept at like 95 degrees. So they sit under that light. And then the temperature can be lowered every few days after that until they reach down near, 75 degrees. And by that time, you're hoping the weather outside is cooperating and they can start to get used to daytime a little cooler temperatures. But by that time they have their feathers, so they're easy. They can keep themselves warmer then. But it's especially important when they're tiny, tiny chicks that they have to be kept warm. And the other most important thing is, of course, they have to have water. Water, food, and heat. My chickens have just started to molt a little bit. That means they start to lose their feathers in preparation to get new feathers. And the black and white one here is the one that's molting the most. I found the most of her feathers around so far. You can't tell. She doesn't look all tattered yet, but sometimes if they molt fast, they get to be real scraggly looking. But they're just starting. It just starts in the fall. And they go through their molt in the fall so that they have all their new feathers by the time the really cold weather in the winter comes. So my chickens, besides their normal run off the coop, my coop is in the garage, in the corner of my garage. It's built in there. Let me show you for people that haven't seen my scope before. See, this isn't my chicken coop. It's inside my garage. It's all insulated because I live in northeast Ohio and it's cold here in the winter. And of course you don't heat a chicken coop. And these are the egg boxes that you can lift up and get your eggs. Hi, Brian. Get your eggs without having to traipse into the chicken coop every time. And I'll show you inside here. Inside the chicken coop is, I put those things in front of their nesting boxes because, see, this is Pepsi. Pepsi would like to be a chicken. She loves to come in the chicken coop. I put these in front of the nesting boxes because my one chicken is trying to go broody, which means she's going to try to just sit on the nest and do nothing but sit on the nest. Because I don't have a rooster, so the eggs that they lay are not fertile. And it's just a hormonal thing that chickens sometimes go through. And some breeds of chickens are more prone to go broody. But it's not hard to get them out of that stage. That's Mama Cat. And this is her daughter, Pepsi. We rescued them from a farm where we had our horses at one time. And this lady lost the farm, and we moved our horses to another wonderful place where they are now. And these cats were just left, so we went back and got them. And now they live with me. But they've never been in a house, they've never been indoors, so they live in the garage. And in the winter, they have a heat lamp when it gets really cold. So they're dusting themselves. This is what the chickens do. They dust themselves. They throw the dust and the dirt up under their wings and all over themselves. And it helps keep the like mites and stuff off of them. They do the same reason horses roll in the mud, keeps the flies off of them, or cows do that. Animals are pretty smart. But this is called dusting when the chickens do this. So let me know who's here. I'd like to baby Christian Jean. It says here you love the Georgia Bulldogs. And watching birds, yes I do too. Being at the beach, and you love God and Jesus, yes. I'm a born-again Christian. Jeannie. Hi, Jeannie. Yeah, I have a 1 square acre here that I live on, my little square acre homestead. And I have only 4 chickens right now. I'll have more in the spring. I'm going to get 4 or 5 more at least. And then I have 2 dogs, English pointers. I work with the Pointer Rescue Organization. But I'm telling you, every time I foster, I adopt them. So I'm not too great at fostering. But before I had pointers, I had labs. And I have had one St. Bernard that I fostered. But he was old when I got him. And he lived 3 years with me before his back end gave out. But he was such a gentle soul. That's a wonderful breed, too. I hope you can all hear me good because I'm trying out, and I have my new Rode Lav Plus mic on. And it's supposed to work really well. And since I usually talk in kind of low tones, my sister says I don't project my voice. So this mic ought to help me a lot. So that's my chickens. I also have 2 horses. I can't forget about those. But they're kept at another facility. I only have 1 square acre, not big enough for a horse. So I have 2 horses. A quarter horse that's retired now. He's 23 or 24. And my young one is 10 years old. That's the one I ride, and he's a draft cross. His name's Echo, and my quarter horse's name is Preacher. And I do scope from the barn once in a while, so you can catch some of my scopes when I go to the barn, and I'll show you my horses. I have a blog that I write on all the time, and there's loads and loads and loads of photos. And my blog is called Shirley's World, and it's shirleysworld.blogspot.com. And I've been blogging since 2009, so there's lots and lots on there. But can you hear the chickens talking to each other? I don't know if you can hear. They just sort of make these real low little sounds. See, they really throw, yeah, they throw the dust all over the place. There's Eggo. That's the Easter egg. She lays blue and green eggs. Real pretty. The rest lay brown eggs. And if you've never had a real fresh egg, instead of the ones they have in the grocery store, which they're already 2, 3, 4 weeks old before you ever get them, a fresh egg tastes altogether different. They are delicious. So, if you're ever thinking of getting chickens, if you live someplace where you can have chickens, they're a lot of fun. They're not all that much work, and you have the advantage that your pet chicken is giving you eggs for your breakfast. So, they're fun to watch, and you really do get attached to them, just like any other pet. And you name them, and you talk to them, and you tell them what good girls they are for laying an egg. Anyway, so I do my evening chat by the chickens. I do a lot of scopes on the chickens, and I give advice about having chickens. So my advice is this winter, I know it's only fall, but sometime between now and spring when you get new chicks. Now, of course, if you live in the south, you can get chickens anytime, but it's important to have your coop all ready for your chickens. And my coop is in the garage, like I showed you. But you can either build your own coop, or you can buy ready-made coops. But just have your coop ready before you get your chickens. And we'll talk about how to set up a brooder for the babies when it gets close to the time where I'm going to get my baby chicks again. I order my baby chicks off of a site online. They come by mail. You notify the post office that you're expecting live chicks, and as soon as they come into the post office, they're delivered in one day from the hatchery. And when they come into the post office, they call you no matter what time of day it is, and you have to go get them right then. And then you bring them home, and they're shipped in a box with, of course, holes in, but they're shipped in a box with a heat pad, and it's all protected, and they travel really well in these through the mail. And it's important that you get them to get a drink of water right away. And what you do is you dip their little beak in the water just a little bit until they know where the water is. Do that to each one as you're taking them out and putting them into the brooder. And we'll talk all about that when I get my new chicks. And you can see, if anybody wants to get their chickens this spring, we can do, I'll talk you through it, and we can do it together, because I'm getting them again too. This was my first batch of chickens. I read up on chickens. I researched about having chickens for almost a year before I got chickens. But that's just me. You know, I was so afraid I'd get these little baby chickens and I'd do something wrong and they'd die, so I read a lot about them. Look at Martha wants that spot to dust in, and she shooed Dottie right out. Martha is the top of the pecking order, as you can tell. And they definitely have a pecking order, and she's the top one. So she tells everybody what to do. I think, see, she's even making Dottie. Dottie went way over there now. Let's see, I think Martha's going to let the other buff in the spot next to her, maybe. They're funny to watch. Well, I'm going to go in the house and clean up my supper dishes, you know, stuff like that. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. We'll have breakfast together. So, good night for tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for visiting, and for all the replay players, thank you so much. Give me a few hearts if you can, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye.